fifth grade. Let's get started on math. Today we are on lesson 4.4, and that is the distributive property. And the question is, how can you use a distributive property to find products? So on Friday when we met, we talked about the distributive property and we practiced breaking apart arrays. And so that's what we'll be doing again today. So another word for the distribute property is the break apart property. Okay, so let's start with Mark. Mark bought 6 new fish for his aquarium. He paid $7 for each fish. How much money did he spend in all? So because Mark bought he bought 6 new fish and he paid $7 for each fish, that's 6 times 7. So you can use the distributive property to solve the problem. The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by the number is the same as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products. So let's kind of talk about what that means and looks like. Okay, so make an array with tiles to show 6 rows of 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the 6, and of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is showing 6 times 7. Okay, let's move over here. So here, we know that we can break apart this array. Let's not break apart the 6, let's break apart the 7. So this is the same array over here. Now I want you to draw a line right here where they have the dotted line. And now we have broken apart the 7 into a 5 and into a 2 because we know that 7 can be broken into a 5 and a 2. So now we have 6 times 5 and 6 times 2. Okay, let's go back to here. So we know that 6 times 7 equals 6 times 5 plus 2 because 5 plus 2 is what equals 7. So let's solve for that. Let's solve for 6 times 5 and then 6 times 2. So 6 times 5, we could count by 5 6 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's 6 times 5, and then we're going to plus 6 times 2. So 6 times 2 would be like 6 plus 6, and that's 12. So now we have to add 30 plus 12 to get 6 times 7. Well, 0 plus 2 is 2, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So Mark spent $42 for his new fish. Okay, let's do another one to just keep practicing. Okay, so now we're on page 210. Suppose Mark bought 9 fish for $6 each. So if he bought 9 fish for $6 each, you can break apart a 9 times 6 array into 2 smaller arrays for facts you know. Okay, so here is the array right here for 9 times 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's the 9. And then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's break apart the 9 into 2 smaller arrays. One way is to think of 9 as 5 plus 4. Draw a line to show this way and then find the product. So let's count down 5 and then draw a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember, we have not broken apart the 6. We still have 6. What we did break apart was the 9. Here was the 9, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have 2 new arrays. So we know that 9 times 6 equals 5 times 6 plus 4 times 6. Because if I were to get rid of this line, or to get rid of that line, we're back to 9 times 6. Okay, so let's solve. Let's solve for 5 times 6 first. We can count by 5 6 times. So our 5s are going this way. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then 4 times 6, we could count by 4s, or you could count by 6s, or you could add. Let's count by 4s. So we know that 4 plus 4 more is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, now we can add. Let's add the 1. 0 plus 4 is 4, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So he spent $54 on 9 fish. Okay, let's do some more for practice. Here we go. Draw a line to show how you could break apart this 6 times 8 array. So let's break it up. Let's circle what we know. We know it's 6 times 8 into 2 smaller arrays for facts you know. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then here's the 8. Let's break apart the 8. So I'm going to draw the 8 over here. Think, what are numbers that you could break the number 8 into? We could do 4 and 4. You could do 6 and 2. You could do 5 and 3. All of these would work, right? Because all of these, when we add them back together, we get back to the number 8. And if it doesn't matter, if you were to choose 4 plus 4 or 6 plus 2 or 5 plus 3, you'd still get the same answer. But for today, because we're doing this together, we're going to do this one of 4 plus 4. So I'm going to count out 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then draw a line. Okay? So remember, the number 6 didn't change. That number is staying the same. Okay, what numbers do you multiply? So we're going to multiply 6 and 4, and then we're going to do 6 and 4 again, because we broke it into a 4 and then a 4. What numbers do we add? Let's figure that out next, okay? When it says what numbers do we add, let's put a check mark. We'll come back to that. So we know that 6 times 8, because remember, that's the original problem. 6 times 8 equals 6 times 4 plus 4. So 6 times 8 will equal 6 times 4 plus 6 times 4. So let's figure out what 6 times 4 is. So here's our array to help us. We could count by 4s. Let's do that. 4, right? That first one would be 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So if 6 times 4 is 24, we know that's the same over here. Now we can add those together. So this is what it was asking us. What numbers do you add? We're going to add 24 plus 24. Okay, so now let's figure out 6 times 8 by adding these two numbers together. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, let's keep going. Write one way to break apart the array, then find the product. Okay, so let's do these both together. So let's write the original array that we see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're going to be finding 5 times 8. Let's break apart the array. Let's break apart the 8, not the 5. So I'm going to draw the 8 over here. Remember, we just figured out all those different ways. We could do 4 and 4. We could do 5 and 3. Let's do 5 and 3 because we just did 4 and 4. So I'm going to count out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to draw it here. Okay. So now I'm going to draw these parentheses. So what's this new array over here? It's the 5 didn't change, remember. So we have 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our first one is 5 times 5 plus this one is 5 times 3. Okay, now let's solve. So we're solving for 5 times 8, so we write it again. Let's get 5 times 5. So we're going to count by 5 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Plus 5 times 3 would be, we can count, so we could count by 5s or 3s. Let's count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, now we add. 5 times 8, remember that's what we're solving, equals, okay, well, 5 plus 5 is 10, so we know we're going to have a 0 in the ones place. And then 2 plus 1 is 3, but we have to add the 1 more we carried. So 2 plus 1 is 3, plus the 1 more would be 4 for 40. There you go. Okay, let's move on. So first thing we're going to do is find what this array is telling us. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we need to decide, are we going to break apart this 4 or are we going to break apart this 7? Let's break apart this 7. So we need to draw a line somewhere. We could draw it. We can make it into a 5 and a 2. Why don't we do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have a 2. So now our two new arrays are 5 times, okay, oops, I made a mistake. So remember, the 4 is staying the same. So our array is showing 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus, and then this array is showing 4 times 2. Okay, so let's solve. Now we have 4 times 7. Again, always write that down. 4 times 5. Let's figure that out. So let's count by 5 4 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. Plus, what's this array showing? What's 4 times 2? That's like doing 4 plus 4, which is 8. So then we know that 4 times 7 equals, well, let's add the 1. 0 plus 8 is 8. And then 2 plus nothing is 2, 28. Okay, let's turn the page and keep going. All right. Okay, shade tiles to make an array that show a fact with 7, 8, or 9 as a factor. Write the fact and then explain how you solved finding the product. Okay, so we're going to do this together. So, shade tiles to make an array that shows a fact with 7, 8, or 9. Why don't we do 7? So we're going to draw shade in 7 going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we can pick our other factors. So we're going to have 7 times, why don't we do 6? So we have got the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I keep doing that. Okay. So take your time. If you need to press pause, go ahead. So this is showing 7 times 6. So let's break apart our array. Let's break apart the 7, right? Let's not break apart the 6. So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that again, 5 and 2. So now our array is showing 5 times 6 plus 2 times 6. Because we broke apart the 7, not the 6. Okay? Let's keep going. So we know that 7 times 6 equals, let's show 5 times 6. This is, I think, the third time we're doing 5 times 6 today. So you should know now that it's 30 plus 2 times 6 is just like doing 6 plus 6 more is 12. Okay, so 7 times 6 equals, well, what's 0 plus 2? 2. What's 3 plus 1? 4. 42. Okay. Okay, let's do number 6 together, and that will be our last one. Okay, Kent buys 5 bags of potatoes for $7 each. He gives the clerk $40. How much change should Kent receive? Okay, so a clerk is somebody at the store who you give your money to and you buy something. Okay, so Kent buys 5 bags of potatoes for $7 each. So that's 5 times 7. And he gives the person $40. How much is he going to get back in change? So first we need to do 5 times 7. So we can count by 5s 7 times. Let's do that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So he pays $35. But that's how much he needs to pay is $35. But he gives the clerk $40. Right? So he gives the guy $40. How much money should he get back? What's $40 minus $35? Well, the difference between 35 and 40 would only be 5. So he should get $5 back in change. Okay. Okay, good job, third grade. Now you need to work on your homework.